Mania!
Hello, JJ Brown. It's a pleasure for me to be doing this interview. What are you doing nowadays? Welcome to Mania.
Thank you. I'm just working on some stuff with some friends and running the tattoo shop up here in Ohio.
Recently, Rob Halford spoke in an interview about a possible return of fight. What can you say about this?
Whenever he's ready, I'm ready. I just seen Russ last month. He was out on tour with Steel Panther, and whenever Rob's ready, I'll be ready to pick the bass back up. It would be nice to see Fight if at least do some, a few shows, because a lot of people didn't get a chance to see us, because that was back in the early 90s, and there's this younger generation of metalheads that I think could appreciate the stuff that we did. So hopefully Rob will get maybe a break from Judas Priest, and hopefully we can do maybe a few shows, or maybe even, you never know, maybe even do a tour, who knows. Just depends on what Rob has time for.
Let's back in time. How did Fight Band begin?
I met Rob out in Phoenix. He came in, he was getting his work at the tattoo shop that I worked at out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I started doing his tattoo work. He had seen my portfolio, liked my work, and I started doing some tattoo work for him. He checked out my band at the time, which was with Brian Tills, and we just kind of hit it off and became real good friends. And then when it was time for him to put Fight together, he ended up taking me and Brian on that journey with him.
The first album of Fight, War of Words, is a masterpiece. What this album means to you? What do you remember for the War of Words times?
That was a really, War of Words was a good time. That was when we first got together. We were rehearsing in a studio out in Phoenix, and then we recorded that album over in Amsterdam. And management thought it would be a good place for us to get away from everyone else and just spend time together in the studio recording that. So we went over there and recorded over there, and that was a really good time. Had a lot of fun.
And the second album of Fight, A Small Deadly Space, what can you say about this album?
The second Fight album, Small Deadly Space, we recorded that in Phoenix, and that was when we picked up Mark, because Russ wanted to do some other stuff, and that was more Brian's style, with more of the down tuning, kind of groovy stuff. Brian had a lot to do with the writing of that album.
Why didn't Fight go on? How did the band end their activities?
Well, at the time, I don't think we were really getting the support that we needed from the label at the time, and I think Rob wanted to try some other avenues and try some other stuff, and I think that's when he went and did the 2 stuff, and I think that Rob was just ready to move on at the time to do some other stuff.
Despite the short time that the band remained active, to this day Fight is remembered and much listened to by the metalheads. How do you explain this perpetuation of Fight?
I don't know. I just think it was some really good music that we made, and unfortunately we all just kind of went our own ways. But I don't know. You can't deny that it's definitely good metal, and yeah, I wish it would have lasted a little longer, but even even at the time, I was in a pretty bad place. Like I was pretty messed up at that time. I was drinking heavily. I was a pretty big train wreck, and I know during that whole time, Rob was sober, and I don't know how he put up with me because I was a lot to handle. I figured he probably did it because he loved me, and we were really good friends. That would be another cool thing, if we could get together and do some shows. At least now I could probably remember them because I'm sober now, so it would be nice to do some shows sober.
Returning now more yet in time, before fight, you played in a band called Cyanide. You have an album, The Sleazy Queen. What would you say about these Cyanide times?
Cyanide, the band that me and Brian were in, it was a cool band. We, you know, Brian had started that band when he was probably like 16 or so, and then I jumped on it with him, and we end up like that band. We end up all moving out to Arizona together to try to pursue our music career, and I mean, it was a fun band. We had a lot of fun. It was a good time. We were all young, real crazy.
Another band of you is Vent. What band is this?
Vent is a band that me and Brian did with Tim and also a buddy of ours, Don. Tim and Don were from Minnesota, and in that band I'm just doing vocals, and that was a band that we started like maybe like in 2000 or maybe even before then, and unfortunately that band didn't really go anywhere. We couldn't get any bites. We tried sending it out to some record labels and just couldn't get any backing on that band.
And the band Satanic Industries Limited.
SIL was formed back, I think it was after Fight, and it was actually with Goody, who was the sound man for Sepultura for quite a while, and actually Paulo lived with Goody out in Phoenix at the time, and also with Kristen Davis, who is actually doing that new Chester Bennington album right now. He's in the studio doing that, and that was a band that I had put together back in the like mid 90s, and we put out the first album was just called SIL, Satanic Industries Limited, and then the second album was called Going to Church, and it actually came out on the Singer of Rats label, but we changed the name to Sin Industries Limited at the time, just to kind of be a little bit more accessible. But that he really didn't do anything with it, so that didn't go anywhere with him.
Do you have contact with fans or musicians from Brazil?
I talked to a couple people here and there from around the world. I'm sure probably a lot of people don't even really know how to get a hold of me anymore. I did have a couple friends down in Brazil. One of them even came to see me when I lived in Phoenix, but I haven't talked to him in a while. And I talk to anybody who wants to be anybody who wants to talk. I'm very friendly. I'm a nice guy, friendly guy. I love the Brazil metalheads. I had a lot of fun when we played down there. I'm hoping someday I'll get to come back down to Brazil. That would be very cool. I like it down there. It was a lot of fun. You guys know how to bang your head down there.
Which were the most important moments in your career?
Uh, the most important moments in my career were probably just, I just love playing music and traveling and meeting everybody, and be on the stage one night, and then the next night you're on another stage in a different city with more amazing people that you get to meet each time. And it's just a good time to be able to go around, meet different people that are into the same stuff you are, the same type of music, that enjoy the same things that you enjoy.
How do you see the rock music scene from the 90s until today? Many changes?
Uh, well, the 90s, it seemed like metal, there was a metal scene, but it was kind of it took kind of that back burner to the more grungy stuff. Like when we were coming out, grunge was the big thing. And now metal is back up on top, and you have all kinds of amazing metal bands out there right now. I mean, you still did back then, but it just wasn't in the mainstream like now. There's the metalheads are rocking out everywhere.
What don't you like in the music business?
Probably because it's a business. That's probably why I don't like the music business. I just enjoy playing music to play music. You know, when anything becomes a business, it just makes things difficult, where you don't enjoy it as much. Like even with tattooing, tattooing for fun is, just doing it as fun is fun, but then when it's your job, then it just kind of takes some of the shine off of it. And just like with music, like playing music every night is fun, but then when you get all these other people involved that want to tell you how to do this and how to do that and what you can and cannot do, just takes some of the fun out of it.
Now, a funny question. If you could be part of any band in the history of music, which band would be and why?
Huh. If I could be a part of any band, oh, I don't even know. There's so many good bands that I enjoy. I don't know, like Led Zeppelin, because they were so amazing back in the day. Like watching, I just watched that Houses of the Holy the other day, and it's just so amazing to watch those guys play together, and the feeling that they had together. Either that, or let me be Jimi Hendrix's bass player. I don't know.
What are your plans for the future?
My plans for the future are hopefully to talk Rob into doing some fight shows, and I don't know, and just to keep living life. Every day I wake up is a good day. A lot of people don't get to wake up, so when I wake up in the morning, I'm a happy guy.
JJ Brown, thank you so much for this interview. Rockmania is always available.
Thank you very much, Brazil. We appreciate it. Rockmania rules. Stay metal.
Rockmania!